I'd like to share with you an automated process in which to create a new document that automates the process of creating all these slides. It's a really cool feature and I know you're going to like it. So to get that process started, navigate up here to the top menu, mouse click on the word file and select import from the drop down menu, and you'll see here import file and import text from clipboard. These are the two options that I want to talk to you about. To begin with, import file would require you to import a Word document or some kind of a document where the lyrics are already all typed out. And here at Saddleback Church, we use what we call a song scan, which is really a Word document with all the lyrics in it. And we use that document here for the worship team, but for you, the pro presenter operator, you'll need to access that document and download it to your computer. And I'll show you that in a different lesson. Once you've downloaded that Word document, you would take it from here. You would import that Word document right here. Before I show you that in this lesson, I want to talk to you about importing your lyrics, otherwise known as text, from the clipboard in the computer. This is another way. So both of these are automated. So I'll start with this. Importing text from clipboard, then I'll come back to importing a file, which is a Word document. So let's go here, import text from clipboard. And in this import window here, we have some options. We can select a line break option here or a paragraph break. Let's go with line option or line break in the slides delimited by line break. Here, delimiters per slide means how many lines of lyrics do I want per slide. Now, I don't want 2 for this one. I'm going to go with 1. And now the document size here, which I can change the resolution to anything else that's been predetermined, or I can create a custom size, but I would leave this alone because Pro Presenter has already determined that this is the correct resolution for the slides that's based on how we set up our system. Okay, we can change the category from contemporary to something else that's predetermined, or we can create a new category, or we can navigate down here to template, mouse click on this and select a new template, or leave it on default. Let's leave it on default for this lesson. Down here, the destination of where this document's going to go is library only for now. You could click on playlist or selected playlist or new playlist actually. One of those 3 options. Let's leave it on library only. And then you want to select edit, not import. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but you want to select edit just like that. And what happened just now was I had already copied the lyrics from a document in a different location on my computer. I already went over to that and I copied all the lyrics from Amazing Grace. Now you can do this too with a document out on the internet, but make sure you're doing it legally. And if that document exists out on the internet, you would copy the text, go into this process, and when you select import from clipboard, it'll gather all that information that you copied from that other location. It puts it on the clipboard and it arrives here, and look, all of the slides are all done. Now this is the Reflow Editor. I haven't talked about this yet. This Reflow Editor has already pre-built every single slide. Slide 1, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Here it is, slide 1, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. They're all pre-done. This is very convenient. There really isn't much more you need to do here, except you want to always make sure you put the title of the song here, the artist, author, copyright, song number, copyright year, and make sure that display copyright is checked. You may not have the song number. That's not too big of a deal when you paste using the import paste option. And as I can see here, everything is done. There's no extra spaces. There's no extra information. This is done. I love this. Now you would then select import from this top button, mouse click, and you'll notice that 2 things just happened. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound appeared in my library, and every slide now has been built. Wow, that's nice. If I wanted to change all of these slides, for instance, I wanted the lyrics to appear down in the bottom center or right center or bottom right center, I can control click on that first slide. On that first slide, I can control click on the first slide and select edit slide. And now I can click once over here and then click again to get my blinking cursor. I can highlight that first line of lyrics, navigate over here to the far right, and make sure the letter A tab has been selected, text properties, and I can change the font by navigating to this button and selecting an installed font on my computer. I can change the regular option to italic or bold. I'll leave it on regular. I can change the color by clicking on this, and there's bold again with italic and even underline. I can change the font size. I can give it an outline with a different color, which is nice if you're bringing in a live video feed. All of these features here are very similar to something you'd see like in Microsoft Word. The placement or alignment I can change. I can mouse click on that, and you'll see that it just went center justified. I can put it in the center of the screen, the top of the screen by clicking on that button, or the bottom of that screen, center justified. Now notice here that after I've made this change, all the other slides remain the same. And you can come over here and click on Apply to All. And when you do that, I just clicked on it, all the other slides updated. Wow, that is very convenient. Now I can close this out by clicking on the X. I'll click on this first slide to update my preview window, and now every single slide has the text in the location that I want with the font that I want, the size of the font if I had changed it, or the color. It's a very nice and convenient way to create a new document through the automated process of using your clipboard. Okay, let's talk about importing a Word document. So let's navigate back up to the top menu, mouse click on the word File and select Import. And rather than import text from a clipboard, which is what we just did, we're going to select Import File, which will mean importing a Word document. And I've already downloaded this Word document from the Planning Center that we use here at Saddleback Church. I'll double click on this, and this is that was that Word scan document that I was telling you about. And again, I'll show you in a different lesson how to go get and download those Word documents, otherwise known as Song Scan. Okay, now with that, I have the same options that I just had a moment ago, except I'm going to change this to 2 because I want 2 lines of lyrics, and I'll leave the size alone. I'll leave the category and even the template. I'll even allow it to go to the library after I import, but I want to select Edit. Now when I do this, a couple of things are happening here in this Reflow Editor. Well, first and foremost, you always want to make sure that the title, artist, author, and copyright are all here, and that all the information over here is properly filled out. You'll see the song number did appear here. You want to make sure that's checked. You can even change the template, but let's leave it alone. More importantly, over here, slide 1 has all this information that we don't need the worship team or anyone else to see, because it's going to confuse few people. So we need to get rid of it. So how do you get rid of this? Well, we can mouse click and drag to highlight or select. Let's do that again. We're going to select the text in that first slide, and when I select it and I push the delete key, it goes away, and you'll notice slide 1 is now empty. I can go to this next slide, mouse click and drag, select the text I don't want, push the delete key, and it goes away. Now I've got 2 slides that are empty. You can keep doing this and have all these empty slides. There's another way to do this though. You can do the following. You can mouse click and select and push delete, 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 and keep deleting, and notice how the extra slides start to go away. That's convenient, and you'll get really good and you'll get really quick at doing this. Let's get rid of this. Mouse click and drag to highlight, delete, delete. And now we're starting to get to where we need to pay attention, because this slide number 3 has information with lyrics. We really want this other line of lyrics to be in this slide. How do we do that? Well, let's get rid of what we don't want by mouse clicking and highlighting, dragging our cursor across, and push delete. And delete again. Maybe we can get rid of that other slide, but you want to place the cursor to the left of the text you want to keep and push delete so that it center justifies it. I don't know if you noticed, it center justified that. Very nice. Now we want this line of lyrics to jump up to this slide, number 2. We want lyrics from slide 3 to go to slide 2. So we place our cursor to the left, we click to place that cursor, and then we push the delete key in our keyboard, delete, there we go. Now these 2 lines of lyrics are in slide number 2, and you can confirm by looking over here. And if you need to increase the size of the slide, you can by navigating down here. You can increase. Now we can see, okay, slide number 2 looks right. Let's move on to the next slide, slide number 3. There's an extra spot here of information we don't need, and you need to be pretty careful about what you do here, because you could accidentally do something that you don't want to do. If that's the case, undo it. Push Command Z to undo, or navigate up to the word Edit and undo here to undo what you may have done that you don't want to do. You can push undo multiple times to get back to where you were if you've been making mistakes. So let's get rid of this extra line. We'll place our cursor here by clicking delete. Delete again because there's an extra space. You're really going to have to pay attention there because there's a lot of stuff going on here that you may miss. Let's do that again. Click, delete, and then there's an extra space. Look how it's extra space over here. Delete. The reason why you need to be this precise is because when you're clicking on these slides, things will move around from slide to slide. You don't want that. You want it to be perfect. Yes, you do. You want it to be perfect. So let's do that again. Let's go to this slide here, slide number 5. Now that we've placed our cursor on the right spot, delete, delete. Okay, now I think you're getting the drift of this, right? You need to get rid of this. You highlight, delete. This is that other slide where there's a slide of information that we don't need, but it also has a slide of lyrics. You place your cursor over here, delete. Then you go down here, place your cursor there, delete. So now that slide has 2. The goal is every slide has 2 lines of lyrics, right? What if you want to add an additional empty slide? Well, you find the spot that you want to add that additional empty slide to, and you go to that slide and you go to the very end of the lyrics. Your blinking cursor is over here. There's a couple ways to do this. You could click on Insert Slide Break right here. That'll do it. Let's try that. See that? I gave us an extra slide. And if you go down to 8, there it is. If I undo that, Command Z, and my cursor is at the end of the last text / lyrics in slide number 7, the shortcut is Option Enter. That does the same thing. That's on a Mac. After you've done all this, after you've done and you've updated and you've corrected and you've changed and you've deleted what you need to do, then you can go up here to Import. Click on that. When you select Import, then your document appears in your library and all your slides appear over here, and you can go through and make all the changes that I just showed you a moment ago to place the text in a different location. So that does it for this lesson. I hope you learned a lot. You're now ready to go on to the next lesson.